Mic check 1 2. Yo, yo, yo. Just seeing what kind of delay I have. Mic check 1 2. Oh, quite a bit of a delay. So, okay. Let's see here. Babe, did you ever find a plug to my this other laptop? Just seeing what kind of delay I have. Mic check 1 2. Oh, quite a bit of a delay. So, babe, did you ever find a plug to my this other laptop? Babe, did you ever find a plug to my laptop? Yep, that worked. So I got my Zoom broadcast going, and I got the YouTube live. Of course, there's a delay, so I'm bringing YouTube up over here. Zoom going right here. Here comes back. Two watching. Who's watching on here? Peter. Just letting that come up. Still getting things set up. If you're watching on YouTube. Okay. They put some music on or something.
But a warrior has got to be able to go against what seems to be popular. A warrior has got to up the ante, push the envelope. But in order to do that, we got to be clear about who we are and what it is that we want. And that's what the so-called leaders have not been able to give us. They have no agenda. So that means that you're always compromising because you're always acting out of fear. If leadership really meant something, then you would never act out of fear. That's not to say you don't get afraid sometimes. But fear can't be your agenda. Fear cannot be your agenda. So these leaders are clearly not warriors. And we're talking about warriors. Now, the warrior spirit makes you able to confront whatever needs to be confronted. and let the chips fall where they may.
That's right.
And what we've done is to develop a program, a plan, and so forth, which is to say, let us go the way of the least resistance. What's the easiest way? What's the way that's, not going to get people mad at us? That's not a political agenda, and it's not a position of a sovereign people. So I think what I'm really doing is questioning this whole thing of leadership. We've watered down the concept of a leader. We have Uruguayized the concept of a leader. So that now who we consider to be leaders, it's you got to be a star. And when I say a star, I don't mean a black star. I mean like Hollywood. That's what I mean. You got to be popular, and you got to say the popular things. See, I was trained by none of John Henry Clark. And that gives me the power to say what I think is truth to my people. And that's what he did. Even when it was unpopular among our people, he had to tell the truth. And he said, watch out now. He ain't working for you. Watch out. And people came to him and they warned him. They said, Professor Clark, you really want to say that? You really want to take this position? He said, yeah, because this is the truth. Now that's who I was trained by, so I got to do the same thing. Okay? But when we talk about leader now, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the person who wants to remain popular. We're talking about the person who may be glib, got away with words, but they really not saying anything. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the person who develops this personality thing that makes them all about them. We're talking about the person who always wants to stay in the limelight. Person who's ego tripping. So I'm suggesting that we scratch that term, leader. And that what we need are organizers, we need warriors, we need victors. Me, I'm in it to win it. There's nothing less than that. That's what Baba Kobe said on Friday. We in it to win it. So we do whatever we have to do to make that happen. And we say whatever we know is truth or believe is truth or have thought about it. Okay? Problem is that the so-called leaders are not doing political analysis. They're not doing historical analysis. So therefore, they're not in a position to be a vanguard. You see, they're not in a position to teach because they're not doing the work that you do when you want to take your people where they need to go. So I'm raising that here, and I'm saying that we need to more think in terms of what we need to be in order to be warriors. What we need to be in order to be organizers of our people. And then one of the most important things, which I will be talking about, is being visionaries. That's what we're lacking. If a person gets up in front of you and they say they purport to be your leader, or somebody presents them as a leader, you have a responsibility to confront them, not in a negative way, but to say to them, what is your vision for our people? And I will guarantee you that most of the people now that are called leaders by the media would kind of scratch their head a bit. They would, shift a little and do all of that stuff because they have not thought about that and do not have a position with regard to what is a vision of victory for our people. You got to have that, because that's what tells you how to organize. And that's why we don't have an agenda, because the people who are supposed to be developing all of that don't do it. They don't have an agenda. So that everything they do is reacting to what the enemy does. You see? We have to even have a vision that goes beyond the presence and existence of Urugu.
That's right.
We have to be able to envision a world with no Urugu. An African world. Then what do we want it to look like? What do we want for our children in our world? We have to have the courage to construct our own reality. And that's what Garvey was talking about.
That's right.
Because he said he looked around, he didn't see what he thought should be there. And so what did he do? He didn't get depressed about it. He didn't get defeated about it. He said, I'm going to build the government that we need to have. Woo. Where do you get that kind of boldness from? So we got to go all the way back to Garvey, who said he would come again. He said he would be here with us, no matter how long it took. And I'm telling you that the way he comes back is in our work. Not honoring him in words, or pomp and all of that stuff, but honoring him through doing what he did. How many of us have the courage to do that? The man took on the world for us and in our name. But let me go on.
Can you hear me, Bob?
Yes, sir. What's happening, brother?
Okay, it's about power, y'all.
All right.
And anybody who talks about anything else or tries to make it about anything else,
Y'all turn the light on.
we just shucking and jiving. Just all about power. Okay? That is what I want to do.
Yeah, you good.
The lighting good, Bob?
Introduce some concepts.
Yes, sir.
One of the things that I
Yes,
do.
sir.
I know this. Let me put this herb down, man.
Straight past that.
Rather methodology, because it takes me, it transforms.
No.
All right. How you feeling, brother?
I'm good, Bob. I can't complain. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. We're gonna get started in a second. I was trying to get my other laptop going over here, but it has a mind of its own today. So I'm just gonna use two windows over here so I can kind of watch the stream on YouTube for comments and go from there. But we got some attendees as well in there. Nebu and Amazet are in there, which that's cool, you know. And I'm gonna allow them to come, just in case they want to. All right, Amazet. I just want to say peace. You don't have to say anything. I just want to say peace. You know, Antoine Calloway's in there. So cool. Got a few people on, and we're broadcasting live on YouTube as well. Let me do this right quick.
So we on live right now?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You're getting your spiritual rituals in before we get started.
Yeah. Getting my holy herb. You know how I go.
Yeah. So y'all in Jacksonville right now, right?
No, I'm at home.
Okay, you at home.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm back now.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I told you. Yeah, I'm back now. We was down there for a weekend. Yeah, we just went down there for a weekend. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
that's
with,
what's up.
I just posted them pictures late. You know, you can't post pictures when you out of town. Niggas are breaking your house while you out of town. You know what I'm saying? You can't be posted to go live.
Okay. Interesting precautions, man, that you have to take there, you know.
Oh, yeah. It better be precautions.
Yeah. Like, man, don't put the pictures up yet. Yeah.
Not till you on your way back home or at home.
Yeah. All right. Thanking everybody for tuning in. All right. Peace and power to all. My name is Baba Amin Ojuwo. This is the New African Temple. For those who don't know, the New African Temple is a African-centered universalist spiritual organization where our goal, our religion is Black unity. Our goal is to bring African people together to create spiritual unity across the globe among African people. That don't mean we all going to be best friends. That just means that we all know how to come together based on what we have in common, rather than defining our relationships solely by our differences. It also means that we're putting African people back into the divinity picture where we belong. So we're not closing our eyes and praying and seeing somebody that don't look like you. That means that we're taking indigenous African people off the pagan list. We don't come from so-called non-spiritual, non-believing people that worship the dead and that sort of thing. Everything has its place in the universe. And we come from a highly spiritual people that have built civilizations that have shown a level of understanding of the elements of the universe that no other civilizations have shown. So the Temple of New African Unity, or the New African Temple, is about harnessing that power, harnessing that energy, and creating unity and creating safe spaces in our community for us to fellowship together through an African-centered worldview. And that's what Temple is all about. And I want to welcome anyone who's watching the live stream and anyone who's in the actual webinar. Y'all are actually at Temple. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a Zed, Nebu. I believe there's one more person in there right now. We'll have other people register as we go, but people will be seeing the broadcast. Even if they don't see us live, we're going to share it on every platform that we have, so we can get people to definitely check it out later. We're going to begin, as we always do, through the pouring of libation. Let me grab my plant right quick. Hold on one second. All right. Got my brother Ikaji on the line today. Excited about that. All right. You can still hear me okay, brother?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Good. Yes, sir. All right. We're going to start, as they always do, through the pouring of libations. As African people, we recognize that we're only here because our ancestors were here, right? And we're especially grateful to our ancestors as African people because they withstood some of the worst atrocities in human history just so you and I could be here. They've made great sacrifices for us. We're not only grateful for the sacrifices, we're grateful for the wisdom. We're grateful for the intelligence that they passed down, the beauty. We're grateful for the melanin, everything that our ancestors have reserved and preserved for us to be here. We're grateful for. We do it very simple here at Temple. I just call out the name of an ancestor. We respond with Ashe. I pour water into the plant, symbolizing just like we pour water into the plant that causes the plant to grow. Our ancestors have poured knowledge, wisdom, and understanding into us that cause us to grow as well. All right. Those of you who are inside of the webinar with us, in Temple with us, please put the name of an ancestor you'd like to pour libation to in the chat. Okay. But I'd like to start us off. I'd like to pour libation this morning for Dr. Amos Wilson. Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe. All right. Good brother. Who would you like to pour libation for, brother?
I would like to pour libations for my direct ancestor, Osmus Kelly Sr.
Osmus Kelly Sr. I say.
I say.
All right. I like to pour libations for my mother, Alice Baker. I say. Any one of the panelists like to pour libation for anyone? While you're thinking about it, let's pour libation for Marcus Mosiah Garvey. I say. Nat Turner. I say. Ya Sante Wa. I say. Right. Like to pour libation for all those who transition in the middle passage. I say. I like to pull our base for all the pyramid builders. I say. Brother Nebu say for all the brothers and sisters that came before us. I say. I believe Nebu is over in Ethiopia right now. We global, brother. We global.
Oh
yeah. Yeah. I like to pull our base for Malcolm X. I say. Amazetta would like to pour libation for Father S.J. Anderson. I say. All right. At this time, I like to pour libation for all those we have not named, but we certainly have not forgotten. I say. Oh. Right. Good. Now my babies pray over their plan today, so we can go ahead and bless that. All right. That's what's up. All right, man. Welcome to Temple. Bible Speaks. This week, Bible speaking. I'm speaking to a very, very inspiring brother, very intelligent brother, a brother who has proven to be a man of conviction, a man of the people, someone who sticks to his values and will stand up for his values. And I'm honored to have you here today. I'm honored to have you on here so we can have a conversation today and share your story with the people and lessons from your story with the people. I want to just give a black power and a welcome to you, Brother Ikaji Amasua, aka Brother True. Black power, brother.
Peace, black power. You can hear me, Bob? We good?
Yeah, I can hear you really good. I can hear you really good, man. You coming loud and clear. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Again, thank you, brother, for coming on and having a conversation with me today. It's not something that's scripted. We're kind of just gonna go with the flow here, but I definitely have a topic today, and our overall topic today is the spiritual resilience of African people. You know what I'm saying? And by spiritual resilience, I'm talking about how there have been so many examples in history of African people beating amazing odds and giving credit or calling upon something even greater than ourselves, be it the ancestors or some other being in the universe or nature itself, us crediting and calling on something greater than ourselves and attributing that, to our victory. When you look at the Haitian Revolution, for example, in 1804, when the Haitians these black folks on this little island defeated some of the greatest militaries in the world, and instead of just propping themselves up as we just bad, we just tough, they gave credit to their spirituality, whether it be Voodoo, you know what I'm saying, or Yoruba, or whatever spiritual system they grabbed, they held on to. They always pay homage to the spiritual systems that they grabbed. If you look at Nat Turner's rebellion, Nat Turner was inspired by something that the conqueror had put on us as far as Christianity, but he heard a different message than what they were given and brought another interpretation, looking at nature, looking at the sky. And shoot, when Nat saw that eclipse, he said, that's the sign. It's time to go get her, But the strength and the resolve that it took for him to turn that corner was a spiritual resolve. You know what I'm saying? And even when you look at our people who maintained or stayed within the master's religion. In a lot of ways, we still made it our own. We still turned it into a communion with the spirit that the other folk really wasn't experiencing, and use it as a tool to persevere and to survive. You know what I'm saying? And what will it take to make black folks curse God? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? In whatever form, but the spiritual resilience of African people is really something to be admired the world over. You know, and I don't know, nowadays you don't see, you see a lot more, I think, us compromising that, you know, compromising what we know to be true, compromising the truth in exchange for survival, in exchange for paychecks. People who are so-called spiritual leaders, they are afraid to speak truth to power, even though they're speaking about God every day of the week. They won't say nothing bad about white folks, won't say nothing bad about anybody that they feel holds the purse strings or holds any type of power that may threaten their position or what they have, no matter how true it is. You see a lot of our people, man. We got a lot of folks at college that are locked up or on paper for crimes or for things that they didn't even commit, but they was convinced to take a plea, convinced to not fight it, you know, and you know, so it takes a certain type of resolve to hang in there. You know, you and I, and you know, folks might call us Black Power folk, or they might call us more RBGs, or they might call us whatever, revolutionary, whatever they might call us, right? But we get the side eye. Yeah, hoteps, you know what I'm saying? And we get the side eye when you live the lifestyle that we live. And we got some folk that dress the part, but when it come down to it, they might be Ikaji on Facebook, but they're gonna be Ronald Monday morning when they gotta go in, and they're gonna be Ronald all day until they can get back on social media, and then they can be Black Power again. You know what I'm saying? It takes, but you got some of us who I'm Amin all the time. You know what I'm saying? You're Ikaji all the time. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just an interesting dynamic, and it takes a certain amount of spiritual fortitude to be able to walk in what we call consciousness, or walk in revolutionary spirit 24 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of our overriding topic today. And I want to bring you in on the conversation because you just gone through an ordeal recently where I don't know how much it was tested, but from the outside looking in, your resolve, your spiritual resolve, your resolve was put to the test. You know, for those who don't know, you are the gardening while black brother. You know, we had the barbecuing while black brother. We had the selling water by black child. You know, and all this, and then they come up with these little nicknames for the little prejudiced white people or whatever, peppermint patty, whatever they call it, patio patty, whatever they call these folks. You know, but you just experienced an ordeal centered around your movement in Detroit, where you were put to the test. Before we get into what happened to you, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and what you're doing in Detroit as far as liberating farms and that sort of thing?
Basically, with Liberated Farms, what we do is we have a program based through agriculture, and it's called Liberation Through Agriculture. And what we do is we take agriculture and we use it to teach people, you know, every basis of life that you can use. We can relate to agriculture to math. You know what I mean? You can relate agriculture to relationships. You know, the relationship of the seed with the soil. You know, the sun with the seed and things of that nature. So basically, we're working with the youth and incorporating agriculture in every aspect of their life. So with that, we were working with a homeschool initiative, and then also to counteract that, we have the Truth Camp coming up. And also working on the STEM camp, science, technology, engineering, architecture, and math. So that's basically the basis of our program. We're using agriculture to, you know, kind of build our bases of our curriculum around agriculture, and use that to teach other things and other other topics and aspects of education. You know what I mean? But just all springboarding off agriculture, which will be the land, nature. You know what I mean? And those aspects.
Cool, cool. You know, in our math class at the Uhuru Academy, we teach that math is a scientific tool created by African people for the purpose of studying nature. You know, and so
Yes,
I
sir.
find it very interesting that you tie all of that in to mathematics, to life skills, relationship skills, all of that, and you're building your lessons around learning about the land, learning about the soil, learning about agriculture. I think that's really
Yeah.
cool. You know what I'm saying? I think that's really cool. I
And
think,
it's
yeah, I've had some relationships that was related to the land. They was pretty dirty. You know, that I had to that I had to clean up. You know what I'm saying? So I've definitely seen some soily relationships in my time. You know, but
yes, sir.
that's cool. So you're saying a holistic approach to education that's centered around agricultural science,
Yes, sir.
and you're doing this in Detroit.
Yes, sir. Detroit, Michigan. So it's basically built around urban agriculture, and to emphasize on what you just said, as far as it being, original or African or whatever, however you identify yourself as, black, more, whatever. It's a lot of different titles we go by out here. I don't want to leave nobody out, but as far as that agriculture is the basis of how we created nations, cities, empires were built off the cultivation of the land. Whatever resources or materials that land had, we cultivated it, and that's a part of agriculture. So if you before you can learn how to mine gold, you would have to dig the soil. You know what I mean? You would have to learn the soil. You would have to understand what textures the soil will have to be able to breed gold, and to create the environment that would be able good for mining gold or good for mining coal or whatever it may be that that the land has. Agriculture would be the introduction into those other things. If you understand what I'm saying, you know what I
Oh,
mean? Because
absolutely.
without agriculture, you wouldn't be able to get those things. You wouldn't be able to know what land is good for what land, you know what I mean, should we not use, what land is good for planting food, what land is not good for planting food. We can plant
Yeah.
trees here, or we can
Yes.
grow grass here, hemp here, things of that nature. So you have
Absolutely.
to know the land. So to know the land is, you have to know agriculture. So it's the
Yeah.
basis of all
And
life to
and
me.
I think that we have to realize, particularly among us, that that's a spiritual relationship as well, between us and nature. You know what I'm saying? Ancient Kemetic word for God was netter. Netter, etymologically, nature comes from netter. You know what I'm saying? So our relationship with the earth, our relationship with the sky, because it's all intertwined, right? You have to understand
Yes, sir.
what the stars are, what season it is, in order to understand where to grow, what to grow, when to grow. And mastering that relationship
Yes.
and honoring that relationship has been the key to our survival as a species, let alone as a people. So very profound, very profound. Tell us a little bit about Detroit, man. Tell us a little bit about Detroit. I had the honor, me and Mami and Koyo had the honor of visiting y'all a few months back. You know what I'm saying? And I was very enlightened about Detroit. Because you hear things in the news. All they want to talk about in the news is violence, dropout rate, cars and water, that sort of thing. Give us a more holistic view about what's going on in Detroit right now, from your perspective.
Well, I mean, right now in Detroit, on the outside looking in, depending on what view you looking from, it could be looked at as it could be looked at as one or two ways, in my opinion. You had the people who look at Detroit as up and coming, the downtown area is thriving. Certain areas are starting to revitalize. The housing, real estate market is on the rise in certain areas. You know what I mean? You can you can buy homes at their fair market value now in certain areas. And then you had the other aspect where you're looking at it as you don't see that progress. You don't have an idea of what people are talking about when they say the city is on the rise, your neighborhood is on the decline at a rapid rate. People are moving out, you know what I mean? You looking up and there's no schools are closing down. Then they got these letting any and everybody start a charter school so they can get a money grab and get this government funding. You know what I mean? Your so-called public services are inadequate, not up to par, dilapidated homes, you know, just straight like if you ever seen the movie RoboCop, it's like they creating two different cities within one city.
Wow.
You know, and that was based on, you know, so and then you have the conscious or revolutionary culture that is more prevalent here than most places that I've been to. You know, the
That's
culture.
one of the things that shocked me. But I forgot that Detroit was 85% black. 80 to 85% population wise. Detroit is historically a black city.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been that way since the 70s. Since the first white flight was after the riots in '67, and then after Mayor Comey Young became mayor in '73, it kind of went skyrocketed up that way, and then it's been in the high 70s to 80, 90% since the 80s, since the late 70s, early 80s in Detroit. So, you know, I grew up with watching people who look like me do everything from be the mayor, firefighters, police, all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, you still got the same results as if this city was the reverse. You know what I mean? So it's not like you get a relief from the oppression that exists. You just have black faces in oppressive positions.
See, y'all wasn't saved from the crack epidemic, a lot of things that the black community in America went through. Y'all went through it too, right?
Yeah, it still came through, and but you know, it also though, like, because I go other places and I don't see now. What I can say as far as just like businesses and things like that, you have a better success rate here because you have more of our people who will patronize your business, so you have a better rate of, you know, being successful, you know, in the system per se.
We was in a nice little sports bar that was black owned, and y'all was like sitting there like, you know, okay, you know, this is what we do, and me and my wife were constantly like, whoa, we ain't got one of these.
Right, yeah. and in Detroit, and living in Detroit, you can take those kind of things for granted. You know, when I go to other places and I don't see the bookstores or the boutiques and little things, like we got a whole strip that's just black, you know, so-called black owned, you know, but it's like, on one hand, it's like, okay, I'm happy. You know, I don't wish bad on my people. I'm glad that we have some semblance of success, but on the same time, it's like a pacifier. So it becomes like you lose your will to take a stand against things that are, you know, that are you know, injustice or whatever. You know what I mean? That are egregious against your people. You know what I mean? So you be like, oh, I don't got time.
That capitalist mind state kind of takes over a little bit, and you end up having that same structure of haves and have-nots that's reflected throughout society.
Yeah, it's the same issue because you know, it's certain neighborhoods, like if you ride through there and you ain't from over there, they got their private security. You will give, you know, hey, what you doing over here? And it ain't nothing but people who look like you that live over there. Your auntie could live over there. Your cousin could live over there. But no, you're not about to. So it's just like you gonna be in Bloomfield Hill somewhere. You know, you get, you know, it's not as the same as you know, as the aggressive, you know, as you would be if you were in the suburbs. But it's still gonna, you know, hey man, what you doing over here? What's up, brother? You know.
Well, tell us about your community, man, and particularly, you know, what you're doing right now there. Well, a little bit about your community, how you grew up, what happened to it, what you're doing right now in your community, the role that Liberated Farms is playing, and then we're gonna get into the issue that we ran into this year.
Okay.
That you came out victorious on.
Well,
You know, I'm already giving away the end of the story. But tell us a little bit about your community, man, and what you're doing over there today, and what inspired you to be there.
Well, man, my community at one point in time was, you know, a thriving community. Kind of mixed a little bit, but majority of our people, we had Arabs and Chaldeans and a few whites over there, but it was mainly our people. So over the years, you know, drugs and poverty, the real estate crash as far as homes losing their value dramatically. You know, you had one point in time, my cousin, he bought a house in my neighborhood for mortgage did for 80,000, 90,000 in 2007. And then you got 2 years later, that same house is only worth 10,000, 5,000. You know what I'm saying? So basically it's dilapidated to the point where, you know, you got maybe realistically 20 to 25 houses in the whole neighborhood of about like a 5 to 10 block radius. You know what I mean? As far as like all together, maybe about 5, 6 blocks. You know, full length blocks all together. So it's very dilapidated. So what I've done is, you know, that's where I placed our urban farm called Liberated Farms there, and basically we're building, you know, taking that farm, taking agriculture, and we're building from around that. So we use that to help beautify the neighborhood.
Right there in your community. So people be clear. So I'm sure you guys went and got a licensed 501c3 and got with the city and got permission and got all your permits and did everything and went out once you got permission and used the amount of land allotted to you. I'm assuming that's what happened, sir.
Nah, we ain't asked no permission. We ain't, none of that. I mean, but you know, it wasn't really no permission to be asked. It was abandoned land that had been sitting there for 10, 15 years not being used. You know what I mean? I wasn't bringing any harm to it. Yeah. I was actually improving it. You know what I mean? You had
I think a lot of us think that the white man own everything. Again, going to that, some of the spiritual blocks that we have, a lot of times we make assumptions that everything belongs to somebody. You know what I'm saying? And that you can't claim something for yourself.
And especially the European, it's like we give, like I hear people say all the time, even so-called revolution, I don't even really like using that word, but conscious and woke people use the term, the European, they ain't gonna do nothing but just come take you, come kill you, this, that, and the third. I say, well, what are you fighting for? I say, you might as well just go along and get along then. If you scared of that, if you worried about somebody killing you, you want to be free and you their slave, duh. Like, what do you think they're gonna do?
Lean on, tell me, I mean, does the state approve your school? Did the state approve your school? Yeah.
Come on now.
But we're speaking to a different mentality though. That's what I want to bring out. So if something inside of you that told you one day, man, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna take this land and I'm gonna build a farm on this land. What pushed you to do that? What gave you the confidence that you would get away, quote unquote, get away with it?
Well, for one, I don't even have that type of mentality because I don't have to get away with anything. I can do whatever I want to do as long as I ain't bringing hurt or harm to anyone else. You know what I mean? And I don't really concern myself with outside interference or outside influence outside of my people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, of course I care how Baba, you know, what Baba Amin thinks of my character or what my brothers, you know what I mean, my brother Free or my other brothers, yes, I care what they think. But outside of my people, my inner circle for real, or, you know, man, my people, black, so-called black people, Moors, whatever you want to call yourself, you know what I mean, African or whatever, outside of those people, I don't care what nobody else thinks. I don't care what they say. I don't care what rules or consequences they say, go for this or go for that. You know what I mean? I'm moving in righteousness. You know what I mean? With a righteous intent. So therefore, I mean nobody harm who means me no harm. So if we cross paths and you mean me no harm, it's gonna be a righteous confrontation. You know what I mean? We're gonna have a good conversation, build on whatever. If we have a conflict, it's gonna be righteously handled.
Righteous,
you know what I mean?
righteous
you don't have
conflict.
to go
I
violent.
feel that.
Yeah,
I
you
feel
feel what I'm
that.
saying? Because you can have righteous conflicts. You can both be right and have a conflict. You know what I'm saying? You can have land that is yours, and I can need your land for my family's survival. That I have to come try to get that land. It's just that, you know, it's just that, you feel what I'm saying? It's just it's the law of nature. You know what I mean? So so when you move like that, you don't gotta worry about getting away with nothing. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't. I didn't even have that thought. I just, you know, I was building for my people. I wanted to put a farm in a food desert. These people do not have access to fresh produce that is good for you. Yes, it's a grocery store, probably a half a mile up the street, but most of these people in this neighborhood don't have a car, so that means they would have to walk down there. So you're gonna walk and then carry back groceries. Carry back groceries to your house. And then when you go in these stores and you look at the produce, you know, which I'll be doing a study this winter, going to the different grocery stores, taking pictures and showing the people of the low class produce and the low level of food that we have to get, and why it's very important to support your local urban farmer who is for the people and not just for themselves. You know, because in Detroit, what it was is this big urban farm grab. Everybody urban farming because all this grant money is available. You know what I mean?
That's
so
what I was going.
now you got.
Yeah.
So now you got these so-called.
You didn't wait on that wave. You saw a need and you addressed it. How important is it to you that like, I know for me with having with the Uhuru Academy, it was just as important to me that I opened it independent of the system as it was important that it got open. Like that was just as important to me. You know, how important was it to you that you didn't go through the bureaucracy, red tape, and jump on the grant bandwagon, because there are grants to be had? How important was it that you liberated the farm the way you did?
It was very,
you know what
very,
I'm saying?
very important.
Doing it more systemically.
That was the whole purpose of me doing it. You know, that was that was my whole intent behind me starting this urban farm, was to do it for us, by us, for real, with no outside help but from me and my people, and, you know, people of that community. So if you're in the community and you don't, you know, you not my complexion, or, you know, I'm not going to tell you no, you can't come help. But mainly, you know what I'm saying, my whole intention was to do it for my people so they can see that we can do things without the system or without the help of the system. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go get no grants. You know what I mean? I work with urban farmers or urban farming organizations that I already knew that existed. You know, and I got tools and resources from those people, and built relationships with urban farmers. I traveled across the country, going to conferences, going different places. You know what I mean? Meeting different people. You know what I mean? Networking and doing it. You know, grassroots. You know, from grassroots down. You know, grassroots from the ground up. And showing that, you know, you ain't gonna see no European over my shoulder that, you know, doing this, breaking me off no money, or I don't want that. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't want that. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of that. This is me personally. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of every time.
You know, it's a model that doesn't work anyway. It's a model that's proven to be temporary. You know, when you all that red tape, when you tied to the system, they will snatch the program, they will change the program, they will co-opt the program. I've seen it, man. I've seen it over and over again. It depends on who's in office, who's out of office. The only way you're gonna build something and sustain it is if it's done independently, and if it's done in ownership and in good character. We had the blessing to come and visit Liberated Farms a few months ago, and I want to commend you because brother took the land, took the house for a workshop that was across the street, had all the tools posted up at the house, had the tree trunks painted red, black, and green, and you was turning that soil over out there. You were bringing the babies out there, and you were doing it because it needs to be done. And tell us about the reception, because of course there is some cost involved in making this thing happen. You're spending full-time job plus type of hours getting this thing together. How were you able to sustain yourself? What type of support were you able to get? How are you able to sustain yourself while getting the farm up and running?
Well, basically, man, I was, doing odd jobs. Also, I got support from the community. I did fundraisers on Facebook to help the farm. We raised $1,500 2 different times to help. I bought equipment for the farm. I bought a tiller, shovels. What else did we get? A chainsaw. We got a weed whacker. All the kind of tools that you would need to maintain a farm. You know what I mean? So definitely we are back and supported 100% by the people. And basically we self-funded. I run my small business. I sell my t-shirts, Real Spill Enterprises, and Real Spill Enterprises funds all of my community work. So whatever I got in my personal bank account, and whatever the people help, my small community support that I get. So that's how we do it, and that's how
business soulmate, man, because that's exactly the model. That's exactly the business model. So you're running a business on the side and using what you're bringing in with your business to finance your passion, your school, which is Liberated Farms. You know what I'm saying? That's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
And we didn't exactly, as a community, flood your GoFundMe with donations. I know you got some, but we didn't exactly. The windfall when news got out that you liberated some land, did a lot of people who scream liberate the land start kicking off the money. We ain't got to say no name. I'm just saying, a lot of people that was doing this before I got started, when I got started, say, all right, man, I need some help. They was like, good job, pat on the back, but I gotta go buy. I gotta go Walmart. You know what I'm saying? How was it for you?
I mean, before this happened, the support was very few and far between. You know what I mean? Like I said, the small community, the same people. Like when I do a fundraiser on Facebook, it'd be the same 10, 15 people that donate. You know what I mean? You get a few people, from that they bring along, new people that they will bring along, you know what I'm saying, and donate. And then, of course, once this hit,
I'm bringing it up so people get an idea.
And
I'm bringing it up
never
so
complain.
An idea of the type of spiritual fortitude that it takes to be creative. You have a family, you have children, to be creative and to stay on mission. While taking care of your family at the same time, it really takes a certain amount of mental and spiritual stamina in order to do that. So I just want to point that out. And we don't get on there and complain. I don't see you get on there and say, "Oh, you didn't think that." Oh, you didn't. No, you go about your work. You've gone about your work. We came out and we witnessed what you do firsthand. You took us around Detroit and showed us some of the gentrification that's going on, also some more great things that are going on in Detroit. But you were dealing with some issues when we got there. You were dealing with a white neighbor who she seemed to be a little upset. She seemed to be a little upset at your work or your attitude or what. She seemed to be upset to the point where when we were there, you were talking about the threat of police being called. You know what I'm saying? While we were there, because you just didn't know if this was going to be one of them days. What went on to start this conflict inside of your community in regards to Liberated Farms?
Well, basically, it started. Long story short, at first, the what's the atmosphere where there was no tension between us at first, as far as the European neighbors. You know what I mean? They didn't have a problem at first, but fast forward to when I painted the colors red, black, and green on the vacant house and a tree in front of the vacant house is when the tension started to arise, and when it became a problem, when they started to tell me, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, da 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 da, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, looking like, who, whatever, okay.
Yeah.
Sure, I can't do whatever you say I can't do, but okay, whatever, call,
So
whatever, do whatever, like basically,
and now
basically ignoring it.
Is
yeah. So they took it upon themselves. Yeah, so they took it upon themselves to start, calling the police, making reports. So they started to build a paper trail against me. But this is unbeknownst to me. I don't know that this is going on. I have no clue that these ladies, at first it was just one, that this woman is going down there making false reports saying that I did these egregious acts to her, you know what I'm saying, or towards her, or threatened her, or whatever it may be. So this is in the fall of 2017. This is when they began to call the police and start to make reports. So fast forward to spring of 2018, which is when you came here, which is when we started to get the police to actually physically show up on the scene. You know what I'm saying? So that was in March. That was the first time the police was called. That was in March. So that was right before you and your wife came up, which it was in March of this year. So from March until May, let's say basically every time that I would go to the farm or go, out there in my community, these women would call the police on me, and at the same time they're calling the police every time I show up. They're going, even when I'm not there, they're going to the police precinct making reports saying I did this and did that, saying I was threatening to kill them. They called the police once. The first time they called them on me, which was in March, when I was out there raking, which is the video that everybody saw, is they said that I had a gun. And then when I got arrested, they said that I was a pedophile and I wasn't supposed to be around children, which is totally 100 million, 50 million false. I've never, ever been brought up on any type of accusation of that at all. I don't even like saying it.
Especially in today's
I don't even like saying it.
Man, that they were trying to get you. One would say that they were trying to get you shot by the police.
Oh, most definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like one could actually say that they were trying to set you up to really be harmed by the police. At this point, they're not trying to stop harm. It's like they're trying to stop you.
Ain't no doubt about it. That's exactly what they was trying to do, because they think that it wasn't just going. I wasn't scared of them calling the police on me, because that's what they thought. They thought once they called the police, they thought that I was going to get scared and just leave, because they like, oh, he got to be doing something wrong. And I knew that I wasn't doing anything wrong, even if it violated certain codes or laws or whatever these people made up or whatever. I still knew that in the end I wasn't doing anything wrong on my part. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have the intention of doing anything to violate anybody's personal space or, personal human rights. You know what I mean? So that's what I live by. I ain't really tripping on these fake codes.
So on that belief, on that character that you had that says, hey, if my intent is righteous, then I'm going to be okay. On that intent, like you said, since my intent is righteous, come what may, because my intent is righteous. And you continue to go, even though you now have 3 white women calling the police on you, claiming you're threatening their lives, that you're carrying weapons, and that you're harming children. A lot of people, Ikaji, a lot of people would say, "Ooh, I think it's some land on the west side."
I could have went around the corner, bro.
People would, did
I ain't gonna lie to you. I could have went 1 block over and wouldn't have had no problem. I could have went 1 block over. They would have never said nothing else to me. No, nothing.
And this is a real threat. So how did it culminate? Because you ended up actually going. I know you was on one video because we were on the live with you from the Uhuru Academy when you had the children at the farm from another homeschool co-op, and we were doing a activity together, and the police came and actually arrested. What happened that day?
So basically, the call, that's when they called and said that I wasn't supposed to be around children because I had had a previous charge to do with something like that. So when they showed up, that's what they was talking about. But it just so happened that all the the reports that they was making and stuff that like that for the stalking, the warrant got issued that morning. So after they figured out that they was lying about me being a pedophile and all that type of crazy stuff, they saw the warrant that had got issued at 9 o'clock that morning. I got arrested at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So they took me for the warrant, as you can see in the video. I'm like, man, what is y'all talking about? I don't got no warrant. And they talking about stalking and all this crazy. I'm like, man, I ain't never stalked nobody in my goddamn life.
Yeah.
What the hell
you ain't stalked nothing with that land. You planted some stalks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. Maybe their white entitlement felt that they were synonymous with the land. Maybe they felt synonymous with the property. If he's stalking the property, he must be stalking me. I don't know.
So I spent like a day and a half in jail, 2 days in jail, bonded out. They made my bond $35,000, 10%, which is unheard of. This is a misdemeanor case. This is not no felony or no crazy case. This is a misdemeanor stalking case. 35 people who get armed robbery cases don't even have $35,000 bond sometimes. Wow. You know what I'm saying? People with dope cases. I done had dope cases and my bond wasn't that high. You know what I'm saying? I was in a Commonwealth state in Kentucky and my bond wasn't that high for a heroin case. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, then on top of that, just to backtrack a little bit, also once I got the police reports and once I seen what was going on, I also started to notice, you know what I'm saying, some of the names of the police who was involved, you know what I mean, and some of the higher ups, you know what I mean. They went and sat down. These 3 women went and sat down with the deputy chief of police, which his name is Chief Bettison here in Detroit. So this is like the guy that's under Chief Craig, you feel what I'm saying? Like the police chief of the city, sitting down with 3 women about a misdemeanor stalking case. You get what I'm saying? Like it's like basically like unheard of, which is like that'd be like the equivalent of a judge, you know what I'm saying, asking to speak with somebody about a ticket in their chambers.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's just not about to happen. You know what I'm saying? We need to discuss
unheard of
about your speeding ticket. This is really crazy. So it's like
there's some sort of greater perceived threat in their mind that's going on. What do you feel that threat is rooted in? What were they really afraid of?
I mean, they afraid of a person who's not afraid to speak out and speak my mind. It's been so many times, like different people in my life tell me, oh man, you should quiet down, you should be quiet, say less, do more, this, that, and the third. But I'd be like, me speaking out never stopped my work. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't talk nearly as much as I work, and I talk a lot. You know what I'm saying? I don't talk a lot. I don't talk a lot as far as like just wasted dialogue, but I definitely build. You know how I be. Me and you get together, we talk for hours. Queen, you looking at us like, boy, they can talk. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is. I'm definitely always building with the brothers. So, but on top of that, my work is gonna supersede that. You know, my
saying.
work, I'm gonna put in work for my people, you know, forever. It's not gonna be a time that I'm not gonna be servicing the people and making sure that
So
I
while
put
this is going
that to the
on and you facing this bail, this $3,500 bail or 10% of $35,000 bail, and I'm sure as an entrepreneur and a breadwinner, when I'm away from the family, that we're losing income. Uh, what were some of the challenges, man, that you faced going through this when it looked like now these folks they sitting down, they meeting with the chief, they treating you like public enemy number one. It looks like the odds are stacked against you. Like nothing about that situation said fair. Everything about this situation said they finna do what they got to do to get that brother up out of the community. What when that set in for you, when that reality set in for you, like, okay, this may be even a bigger conspiracy afoot, how did that make you feel? Like at the lowest point in this, describe that feeling and what brought you through or kept you.
And it was like this came at a time where we were like, me and my queen, me and my empress, we were going through a very, very trying time already in our life. So it was just like, this was like the straw that broke the camel's back right here, or could have been the straw that broke this camel back. So it was like, basically, I felt like, I was gonna have to start all over again as far as finding, building my family, getting my personal situation in order, because I didn't think that my queen would want to withstand this on top of the other things that we were personally dealing with in our lives that were the result of personal decisions, when this is the result of some outside entity of our universe, bringing chaos into our universe, for no other reason other than to disrupt, righteousness, you know what I mean? And that's what Europeans do, you know what I mean? So it was basically like, man, I felt like, man, like, here we go again. I'm finna end up in jail because I know these people might railroad me, but I'm like, I ain't gonna give up. I ain't gonna feel down. And then, it's crazy, but it's like, shit, it's only a year in the county, and it's fucked up to think like that, you know what I'm saying? Because I've been in prison before. So it's like, I done did triple that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that shit ain't nothing. Like, fuck this nigga. I mean, excuse my language, but it's people that done did 50 years. You know what I'm saying? It's motherfuckers that done did 50 years. You know what I'm saying? 60 years and got out. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, whatever I got to do for my people, I'm willing to do it. You know what I mean? Regardless of whatever it was before. I got into this movement. You know what I'm saying? From the day that I moved forward. You know what I'm saying? Whatever grimy, slimy stuff I was on before then was cut out. You know what I'm saying? So it became a mission that nothing was going to sway me or stray me from continuing on this path of freedom. You know what I'm saying? So
and that's one thing I noticed about you, brother, because I've worked with a lot of cats that's been in the streets before and that sort of thing, and I know some that really turn it around and turn that energy into something constructive and positive for the community. Then I know some that always keep one foot in and one foot out, and and that sort of thing as well. But one thing I notice about you is you don't wear that on you. Like, you can tell you ain't soft or nothing. You know what I'm saying? You can tell that. But when I have a conversation with you, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I was like, wow, that dude's like a nerd. He's really an agricultural geek. You know what I'm saying?
I am.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people get stuck in one mode and think that this is just who I am, or this is who I'm gonna be my whole life, and I have to show this part of me. You've seen that, ain't no scene. You've really embraced a more holistic view of yourself. You know what I'm saying? And really poured your energy into building the program, the school that you're building. I want to commend you on that for real, because I know, especially those who have access to the streets, it could be a challenge to not take advantage of the access, especially when money get low.
Yeah, most definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you know, it takes conviction.
It takes conviction just not to do that.
Yeah, it's a struggle. You know, I ain't gonna lie. My people, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's still this Detroit, so you know it's an urban ghetto. Wherever the ghetto is, you're gonna have street ties, you're gonna have underground money, you're gonna see people. I see people making money on top of money, you know what I'm saying? So before this situation, it was very trying. You know, I had people in my ear, man, you tripping, you might as well come, woo, woo, woo. How you gonna do that, do this? You might as well get this, then you could build the farm, da da da. And they made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it was like I understood the oath that I took with myself. You know what I'm saying? I don't got to take an oath with nobody else. I don't have to, you know, pledge my allegiance with anyone else. It's me. Am I gonna be able to look myself in the mirror after I do that? And I probably wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror and be proud of what I am because I've already done that. I know the results of that for me. You know what I'm saying? That didn't give me nothing but prison. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get a whole lot of money out the streets like that. You know what I'm saying? To be, oh yeah, I was doing this back in the day. Yeah, it was money. I thought it was something at the time. You know what I'm saying? But me fighting, you know what I'm saying, coming to RBG weekend and stuff like that and visiting and traveling across this country building with soldiers of the movement is way more invigorating than anything that I've ever done in the streets. And it still got the same dangers. So basically it's like I'm still in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Because they want to lock you up. They want to. It ain't just the Europeans. It ain't just them. It's our own people. You know what I'm saying? People who don't want the neighborhood cleaned up. It's people who want to keep dope in the neighborhood because they are making a whole lot of money with dope, and you're a threat to them, whether you look like them or not.
So evidently, some see free vegetables on the block just as dangerous as dope on the block. That's something.
Oh, most definitely. Even more dangerous. It's even more dangerous.
Wow.
Because you can grow, you can build life from that. You can't get nothing but death from drugs. They'll let you sell drugs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They'll let you. You know what I'm saying? For real. If I didn't, you know, they let us get away with that for so long. You know what I'm saying? Just like I used to be like, damn, how you know, just out here, just like I'm saying, like the way it used to be in my neighborhood, it was like a you know, free runway, like, you know, like I couldn't believe it.
I've seen it where I'm from too, man. It was a time where you would forget that it was against the law.
Man, you could easily stop it if they wanted to. It's like they don't want to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't want to. So it is, you know, it's like
man. Okay, well look, I'm not gonna keep you forever, but I want to just get into the end. How did the case end? You ended up going to court. How did the case end?
Okay. So we ended up going all the way to trial. It did go to trial. Like a lot of people get it misconstrued when they say that the judge threw the case out. She did not throw the case out before it went to trial. We went through the whole trial proceedings. Everybody, my lawyer didn't even present any evidence or anything. He had a video and basically like opening statement. That was it. And then the prosecutor, they called the 3 witnesses. So after my lawyer and the prosecutor went through their case, then my lawyer filed a motion for deferred verdict, directed verdict. Mm-hmm. And what that means is that the prosecution didn't present any evidence that proves the charges valid. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
So after hearing all the evidence from the prosecution, basically all the evidence of this case came from the prosecution. Even the evidence that we use in my defense came from the prosecution. The video, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff came from the prosecution. So they never had
I think I froze on you. Ikaji. I don't know if y'all can still see me or hear me. I may have frozen, but the brother's detailing his the case and what went on in the case. Okay, and so his signal may be going down, but basically it went all the way to trial. As you can see, he's sitting in court with a lawyer that looked like they only halfway doing his job, right? And the prosecution is presenting evidence on his behalf, not on purpose presenting evidence on his behalf, but basically the white women's stories began to fall apart in court. And you can go and you can read it. I don't like to advertise white newspapers, but you can definitely go to the New York Times. You can definitely go. I think Atlanta Black Star may have covered it. I'm not sure, but he ended up with a black judge, which that don't always mean nothing. Black judges put black people in jail every day. But the sister heard the case, caught the white women in a few lies, and threw the case out, and threw the case out, and not, I mean, at trial, like the brother pointed out, they went all the way to trial. But this young black man stood by his convictions. He didn't take a plea. He didn't take probation. He stood by his convictions the whole time. He didn't do anything wrong. And all the time he was out, as soon as he was bailed out, he was back on the farm, back on the land. He's on the land right now. Now, he got a lot of media coverage out of this, right? And from that media coverage, people started empathizing with what he was going through and began to support the cause, right? And all of a sudden, the donations have flooded in. And that's a beautiful thing, because him and his queen, which their story is a black love story, period, that they're going to have to tell, right? Maybe when we do Black Love on weekend, I have them both on. They already have a plan on what they want to do with Liberated Farms. They already have a strategy on what they're going to do to build their program. I'm working with them, advising as best I can. But these people, young people, have it together. They're good people, and they got it together, and they're doing something positive and powerful for their community, right? And they're doing it from the ground up. Some of us have resources. Some of you have more resources than others, and again, I think his call dropped off. Hopefully he'll come back in. Some of us have more resources than others, and we're waiting. We have a ready-made excuse right there that's preventing you from doing the thing that you want to do most in the community. I don't know if it's a community garden. I don't know if you're a sister that want to work with young girls. I don't know if you're a brother that wants to teach self-defense. I don't know. But there's something that you want to give to the community that you might be allowing an external factor to prevent you from doing it. And I want you to look at the example of this young man and look at other examples in our history of people who didn't wait on permission, of people who removed excuses and did what needed to be done because it needed to be done. And when they were faced with opposition, they stuck to their convictions and they won. Some might say, well, Baba, they ended up executing Nat Turner. Nat Turner didn't die because the spirit of Nat Turner didn't die. That revolutionary spirit is still here, and we're still saying his name. There's a lot of brothers and sisters that compromised during Nat Turner's day. We don't even know what their name is. Yes, sir. Welcome, Black.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, we back.
Yeah. So I'll let people know that ultimately, between the white women not having their story straight and you having a sister judge that just wasn't having it that day, that at trial the case was thrown out. Tell us a little bit about the aftermath, and then the support, the publicity came, and then support came.
So yeah, back while we was in the middle of the trial, I guess one of the plaintiffs, complainants didn't like how they was, how things were going in court. So they ended up calling Channel 4, the news station down there, to come record part of the trial.
They're gonna white privilege the black judge. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm in the middle of getting that footage too. We're gonna have that footage. We putting together a documentary about this too, this whole situation too. So we're gonna have that footage. But that so from there, when she called them, and then a local paper, Metro Times, reached out to my lawyer and was, they wanted to do an interview. It was somebody who he knew. He was like, they cool, you know what I mean? Because I ain't really, you know me, Bob. I'm not into it for no fanfare or fame, because this is not, this ain't the business of that type of thing. You have to be very careful. It's a thin line between that. You know what I'm saying? I understand that as as an activist or whatever. So we did the interview. Once we did the interview, a friend of mine, one of somebody, my queen, she was like, somebody asked about donating to help us. You know what I'm saying? They was like, well, we ain't had no way that we not a nonprofit or nothing. That's where everybody can. Are you nonprofit? Are you nonprofit? Can we donate? Can we donate? Can we donate? So we like, well, we don't got nothing. So she started the GoFundMe. I was like, well, this would be some way where people can donate and it still be tax deductible and all that type of stuff. So whatever. And we asked for like 5,000, I believe. That was like the money we paid for bond, the lawyer, and little, stuff, because it caused, like, my life was on hold for 5 months, basically. You know what I'm saying? So from when I got arrested in May until I didn't go to trial until October. You know what I'm saying? So this is from May until October. I'm dealing with this, going to court. I lost my job. You know what I mean? My business took a hit. I couldn't work with certain schools and stuff like this because the day that they accused me of being a pedophile, that they pulled up, it was parents out there from the homeschool, and they heard this, and then I ended up getting arrested. So just imagine what they looking at it and saying like, oh, maybe it was true. He wasn't supposed to be around. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why I was so adamant about that. I have never been accused of that, brought up even by a lady in the street, no off record, on paper, off paper, never in my life. You feel what I'm saying? I'm liable to blow a motherfucker's head off.
That devil just pulled that one just out of her, you know what?
Yeah. They pulled that out of the thing. I didn't know where that I didn't know where that came from. You know what I'm saying? So basically the Metro Times article, we did an interview with a local news station. I didn't really like how they was worded stuff, and they interviewed one of the ladies' boyfriend or something like that. So he basically was trying to still say that I was guilty of this stuff. And you know what I'm saying? That's really the mindset of these three women. Like even now today, like they still believe that they didn't do anything wrong. You know what I'm saying? As if I'm still doing something wrong. You know what I'm saying? One of the ladies just inboxed me on Facebook. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sent me an inbox on Facebook. I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I gotta call my lawyer. Yes, they are. Yes. So I'm calling my lawyer Monday. It's holiday. I was gonna wait till Monday, but I took screenshots and got all that. You know what I'm saying? So people be thinking this shit is all fun and games and sweet, but not to get off topic about the support. So then we did that. So then a lady from the New York Times was here in Detroit doing another article. So they called my attorney and asked if I wanted to do a interview with the New York Times. So we did the interview with the New York Times. That's that picture that you posted earlier when we were in the webinar. We did an interview at the farm. Sat down with the lady, did an interview with her. So those were the only two interviews that I did were with the Metro Times here locally and the New York Times. Everything, all the rest of the articles and all the other outshoots were, they just took that article and just ran it on their publication. It was on Essence. It was in the UK Daily, New York Daily News, LA Times. You know what I mean? So we definitely, and the support, definitely funneled in, amazingly at a rate that I didn't ever believe that I would get, you know what I'm saying, from the people, you know what I'm saying, that way.
Wow.
And as I was going through some of the comments on the GoFundMe, it's like me and my queen was laughing at some of the stuff that these people were saying, it's like white guilt is a real thing sometimes, European guilt is real. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't think it was, it'd be like, it's like, you kind of like, oh, yeah, it got to be some of them that.
Man, it's some real trauma out here, man. There's some real traumatized.
Yeah, and I'm like, I was reading it, I'm like, wow, I'm like, these people,
like,
So,
I'm sorry this happened to you.
So, definitely we taking that and we gonna use that to keep building the mission. I ain't gonna buy no Bentleys. You ain't gonna see me in no Benz and nothing like that, man. I still drive my minivan and buy my girl a car, bought my mama a house, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. But outside of that, You know, we bought some land to expand Liberated Farms, so we don't have to worry about no problem. We still gonna keep that site, you know, because it's city owned, but we still gonna keep it. You know, we
They need
adopted
to
the
come
park.
outside and see them trees every day. They need to come outside and see them
Yeah.
tree farms every
Oh
single
yeah,
day.
we going. Oh yeah, we go. And come to find out while we was going through the case, they painted over the trees all black, painted over my porch all black. So we got to go over there and repaint it. It actually was a nice day yesterday, and the day before that I could have did it, but the next not so cold day, and it ain't snowing or raining, I'm gonna go over there and repaint the trees red, black, and green. Repaint the porch.
Take a couple of a couple of youth and take them out there.
Oh yeah, most definitely, and we winterized the farm over there, so we ready to when the spring get back, we'll be ready to you know, do our thing. So it won't be no, you know, it's definitely continuing. It ain't nothing stopping that. So the whole purpose was the fight was about that land, you know, definitely. It wasn't about, you know, that's what I want to emphasize too, you know, like if you don't stand up against whatever, you know, how many people, you'll be surprised how many people was, you know, telling me how, you know, oh, you know how they gonna paint it is 3 white women word against yours. How you think that's gonna look? You a felon, this, that, and the third, and da 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 da, this, that, and the, I'm like, whoa, wait. And these is people who I look to, like, you know, like, I'm like, man, it's crazy, you know, like, and I understand, but I'm like, everybody wasn't chosen to be strong, you know what I'm saying? And they feel like, oh well, I could be strong in my own way. You're right. Let me be strong in my way. Maybe everybody,
You know,
you know,
I was telling when it was all happening, you know, I was like, nah, that brother don't stand strong. He's not gonna compromise his position. Anybody calling him talking about some move the farm, that you wasting your time because you could tell that you all are on a mission up there, you know, and it's righteous.
yeah,
You know,
and all that did was yeah, and all that did was just let me know, you know, that you ain't really built to be standing next to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? And people be thinking that, oh, well, that means you ain't got it. No, it means that I know what level to deal with you on. You know what I'm saying? If them people ever get you, you'll get me up. You know what I'm saying? I know for sure. That tells me that right there. Whether you will or won't, to me, that tells me everything I need to know about you. And people and our people who in this movement need to start using that discernment more and more and more, because this is not a game. They not letting you get to the level of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, then killing you. They arresting you for a petty crime, making you look like a criminal, so people don't even think that you're a political prisoner or that you have anything to do with the movement. They disassociate. They gonna make your people disassociate. That's why they hit me with a stalk. I'm not going to jail. That's why they hit me with a stalking case. You know what I'm saying? I go to jail for stalking. It's looking like I'm peeking through windows, but it has nothing to do with that. The whole basis of the charge was verbal threats. So anytime you threaten somebody and they feel
on the elevator line,
and they feel
a black man touched them.
Yeah,
just like the white woman line.
You verbally
said something too. Same thing.
Exactly. And then that's why I ain't want no funny nickname. That's why I kept telling the paper ain't no gardening Gabbies or none of that funny nickname. This is my life. My life was put on hold. My life was
white women.
So, yeah, they were seeking to destroy my life. This is not no incident where they call the police and nothing happened and they get looking crazy. No, I actually got arrested. I actually got this stuff on paper. So when people look my name up now, I have a stalking case on my name, regardless to the fact that I got found out guilty. Just by the simple fact, when you look up my name, it's gonna say that I got this case. And if it don't post the disposition of the case, you're not gonna know what happened with the case. But see, people don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? People just think this shit is a game, or oh man, ain't nobody worried about you. That's all people kept saying. Oh man, police don't care about you doing your garden, bro. That's just because them white ladies called this. I say, okay, all right, you right. And see, that just let me know the mindset and the level of thinking that these people aren't capable of critically thinking.
Yeah.
Most of our people are not capable of critically thinking beyond everyday, you know, stuff that they see. Oh, if you sell dope, yeah, the police want you. You know what I'm saying? But they ain't gonna think that the feds will surveillance you. They don't think
Yeah.
that the feds watch you, Bob. Oh, he ain't doing nothing but teaching kids.
Man,
What
they
the feds
crazy. I
gonna watch
already
him
know.
for?
We had people call me and say, man,
No,
they
yeah.
knocked on my door
But
at
they
2 in
don't,
the morning, was asking about y'all.
they
And
don't,
yeah, but I've had people say,
yeah.
they ain't watching y'all. I've had so-called pro-black people, they don't care about, yeah, okay. Keep thinking that.
Yeah.
Keep thinking.
But you started schools with Jay Prince, and you in pictures with Scarface, and you brothers and soldiers, and not even that. Forget that RBG weekend. You know what I'm saying? All them brothers, we in the back. You know what I'm saying? You know the meetings. You feel me? No phone meetings, all that type. They don't understand that, Baba. You
Yes,
feel what I'm
sir.
saying?
Yes, sir.
They think revolution. See, our people really think liberation and revolution is this comic book Black Panther thing.
Yeah.
They don't think
Yeah.
they
No.
don't think that the movement is alive today like it was in the 60s, but it's very much alive. I was talking to an elder when I was in Jacksonville, and he said that having conversation, we was having a conversation, and the conversation, he said, this conversation alone lets me know that the movement is very much still alive.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
conversations that it's meeting people like you, it's meeting people like the brother, my brother in Baltimore, Boom, is Diallo in
Yeah.
Jacksonville, my brother Baba Malik here in Detroit, Yusuf Shakur here in Detroit, meeting these type of brothers and traveling across the country and meeting these brothers who are on, you know what I'm saying? Like those that lets me know that what I'm doing is real. It's very real because I'm being drawn to everybody and everything I need. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care about no money or none of that. It is never about none of that. That's a blessing of, we gonna utilize that as a tool to get what we need. But the
And that's
whole
what this
goal,
conversation was about today, man. I wanted to
yeah,
utilize your experience as a tool to show people that
yeah,
everything gonna be okay. We can stand up. We can speak truth to power. And the
yes,
righteousness to me also comes in. You don't spend a bunch of you're not trying to change white people. You're not out protesting laws. You saw a change that needed to happen inside of our community. You serve the community, and we need more servants, not this leadership stuff. I'm gonna go downtown and rep. We need more people to come in that are willing to sacrifice and invest their time and resources in service in the community, dealing with education,
yes.
dealing with nutrition. All that goes hand in hand.
Yes, sir. And also, Baba, back on the topic at hand, as far as spiritual resilience, definitely want to let people know that that my family is definitely in the spiritual practices. I wouldn't say that we identify with a particular ideology of those spiritual practices. I don't practice voodoo, Ifa, or none of that. I don't have a name for it, but we definitely take it would be similar to things that would be referenced in there. So you could say I'm Ifa, you could say I'm voodoo, I'm all of that, because
Yeah,
we embrace
we
all the
call that
cultures of our
accent
ancestors.
universalism around here.
Exactly right. Because I don't want to guess and be like, oh my, I embrace all my ancestors, Baba.
It's
If you
yours.
call me a Moor, I'm a Moor. You want to call me African, I'm
That's right.
African. You want to say
That's
I'm
right. Same here.
native to wherever, every land, I'm that. Okay, so we ain't in that
Yes, sir.
argument. You know what I'm saying? So
Give
let's
thanks.
eliminate that
Same
argument.
here.
So you a Moor, you're right. I'm a Moor. So what we gonna do
Yeah,
about it? You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? Oh,
And
you
all of
African,
that.
you came
And
on the
all
boat.
of
All
that.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
came on the boat, buddy. Right. So definitely. But back to that though is
Yes.
I went to the water with with sacrifices. You know what I'm
Awesome.
saying? I ain't gonna not sacrifices, but offerings of
Offers.
fruit.
Yes, sir.
When we went up north on our nature trip with my daughters, we definitely did a ritual on the beach. You know what I mean? And definitely, on my own, I took an offering. Days before the trial. You know what I mean? From the garden. You know what I mean? So
Right.
we definitely calling upon the ancestors. I call upon my known ancestors, who I know that was alive, Malcolm X, Khalid Muhammad, my own family bloodline, who were Black Republicans, who were a part of massacres in South Carolina and survivors of massacres and had to take their family in the swamps. This is documented history of my family fighting.
Yes.
So it's in my bloodline. Just
Yes.
like you got the Shakur bloodline, you know what I mean? You had different bloodlines. It's in my bloodline. The Kelly bloodline. We have been fighting against this beast, this government for hundreds of years right here on this land. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say I embrace all my ancestors, because I know that I had people on this land, I had people on other lands, you know, everywhere, especially us, emphasizing that for us here as so-called blacks, African Moors, or whatever here in America. You have to embrace all of that ancestry because it's so mixed. You know what I'm saying? It's so mixed. You came over here, you mixed with whoever, or you was already here, and whoever came over here, you mixed with them. You know what I'm saying? So then you got people coming from South America. Yeah, you got people coming from
all of those cultures and systems
that they call Mexico. You got people coming from all corners of the earth for our people were brought here. You see what I'm saying? It was no the atrocities that happen here are damn near like no other place, because even those atrocities happen, those people know their name, those people know their ancestors. We really guessing. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how deep, how much you think you know and all that, how much you study, at the end of the day, you guessing. You're taking an educated guess. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I believe that my ancestors come from here.
Beautiful melanated buffet. One big, beautiful, spiritual and cultural buffet that you can feed from.
Exactly.
Take the best.
And definitely.
Yeah. And the key is matching that.
Definitely.
Because just because you find one thing and say, I'm going to be that, don't mean you finna be that. You might can practice that, but that don't necessarily mean that that conviction is in your heart, that the character development is in your heart, that you even being challenged spiritually by grabbing on to that. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen people embracing African spiritual systems that ain't worth a damn as people. As people, you know. Right. And so we focus more on the character development. We focus more on building and developing us. And I just believe that what you're doing, your work, and what you just gone through was a great example of that. A great example of somebody who has embraced their ancestors, the power of their ancestors, because that's spiritual, that's spirituality, and someone who has leaned upon that and used that to know what time it is, you know, and to guide you and to strengthen you in times of need. And we just need more testimonies like that, for lack of a better term.
Well, most definitely. You're right, Baba. And, you know, I just want the people to know, man, we liberated that land. You know what I'm saying? Don't let that be known. You know what I'm saying? They didn't take it from me. They didn't run me away. I don't care if they would have showed up with tanks, with the army. It would have been me and my rake out there fighting for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just being real, Baba. I'm not.
You on that land.
Yeah, I really want to bring that fight back, man, because that fight, our people, it's like we don't have no fight. It's like they do anything to us. We don't take no real stand. We go protest, and I'm don't get me wrong. I understand this purpose. I used to be like, oh, I ain't no marching, protesting guy, but I've been out there and I've seen the power that comes with it. Everything serves its purpose. You know, everything in the movement serves its purpose. So our people been organizing, been running down on City Hall from the ancient times. Timbuktu, if it was a problem, all the people went to the chief. Hey, look, man, it's a problem. You say you the chief, we respect that, but hey, we need this done for the people out here. You know what I'm saying? So we need to understand that the power is definitely in unity, but also that our people are in such a far gone state that the few gonna have to unify and fight for the many. You know what I'm saying? The few will fight for the many. We have to understand that. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be this mass.
As long as we're focusing on practical solutions, practical work, tangible work,
you gotta go.
It's gonna happen. And the reason why they try to stomp us out when it's so-called quote unquote small is because they know it don't even have to get big in order for them to lose. It ain't gotta be that big.
You know
what I'm saying? So you know, I want
build where you at.
Build where
on whatever level you at. If you got $100 budget, build with that $100 budget. Like, I be tired of people saying, "Oh man, I want to build a school, but I need this, that, the third." No, if you got $100 and you got a space where you got a roof and some shelter, or it don't even got it could be your garage, it could be outside on your porch. Anywhere is a space to teach. My classroom is the farm.
Yeah, because you know what you're building while you're building it with that $100 budget. You know what's really being built. You're being built. Your character's being built.
Exactly.
That's what's being built. So when the windfall does come, you already got a character that can handle that windfall. But sometimes we want the windfall to come before we develop the character that's needed to handle it when it gets there. you know. So that's why we tell people build where you are, because that's what's going to build you. So I appreciate you, black man. I really do. Definitely, you know, this will be on my YouTube channel. People be able to check it out. This is a great conversation. I really appreciate your time. Is there anything you want to leave the people with? Anything you want to, any kind of jewel you want to drop? How we can support you? The Real Spill, your business. How can we support you in your efforts?
Well, we on Instagram, Real Spill Enterprises, at Real Spill Enterprises on Instagram, Real Spill on Facebook, just one word, capital SREALSPILL. Realspillmovement.com is the website. We'll be having new products up right before the fake holiday, fake Christmas. As far as you know, just a jewel, man, just take a stand, draw the line. It's time to draw the line. You know what I mean? A line has to be drawn, and you have to pick a side. You either want freedom or you don't want freedom. You know what I'm saying? This is not for the 85ers. This is not for your regular everyday people. This is for the people who call themselves in this movement, and you seriously want to be in this movement. It's time to seriously draw the line, because the line has already been drawn on their side, been drawn from the beginning. They knew what side they stand on. So exactly. So either we gonna stand for our people and stand for our freedom, and that's an unadulterated, unapologetic freedom. I don't want any the UN. I don't want to bow to the UN. I don't want to bow to nobody. Russia. I don't want to be friend. None of them people is our friend. So yeah, we might have to use that piece and build, and it might have to take time to get to this goal. But this whole thing gotta fall, y'all. Everything about this motherfucker gotta burn. You know what I'm saying? Like I really want y'all to understand that, or you're not free, period, or you don't want freedom. You know what I'm saying? So stop screaming you want freedom if you only want to be, like Cuba, but you got embargoes from your oppressor. How does that work? How does your oppressor embargo an independent nation who's free of that oppressor? Think about it. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. You know what I'm saying? Let's be free for real. You know what I'm saying? It might be a small island that we free on. We don't care. We don't need nothing from them. Let's utilize whatever we got to build whatever we need. Right around you. Go outside. It's a broke down house. They got bricks. Take them bricks. Go build a fireplace or something. You know what I'm saying? Build, take it, and do it. Whatever it is around you, utilize it. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back to the basics, man. Let's get back to the basics. We don't need all that extra stuff, man. Just build where you at. You got a $10 budget. Build
with me today, man.
Oh man, thank you, Bob. I appreciate you, man. You know, anytime you need me for anything, you know what I'm saying? You already know, man. I usually like dealing with all this cameras and stuff. I'm about to cover this back up.
You did good, man. You're natural. You did good, man. It's all good.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just talking about having the camera on the computer open, period. You know what I'm saying? I'll be keeping that covered up.
They're not gonna grab you and pull you into the into the matrix, man.
Hey, what little Duval say? You never know.
Oh man, well, hey, I appreciate you. Y'all, I'm gonna have a guest every week. I haven't lined up my next week's guest yet, so y'all be looking out for it. I have an idea. I know who I want to invite, but I'm not gonna name the name until I confirm it. But every week I'm gonna talk to somebody that's doing something real and practical for African people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm honored that you agreed to be my first guest at Temple.
Oh man, you already know, Baba. You already know. I'll be, man. Let us know. But don't forget them dates too, Baba, to let me know. You know what I'm saying? When far as the Kwanzaa celebration,
I'm gonna try to organize a youth entrepreneurship expo and get y'all down here for that. So I'll keep you posted.
Yeah. Let me know, because if you don't, we'll come soon as you're ready.
Man, just come. Yes, sir. Y'all.
But if you gonna have that. If you gonna have that, we'll come down there for that. You know what I'm saying? So we'll hold out for that. But if you're not gonna come, we'll just come, soon as.
No problem. Hey, give our love, and my queen, she says, give her love to the queen. And I was saying when you dropped off, I let everybody know when we talk about black love, I might have to have both of y'all on here, because y'all got a black love story. you know what I'm saying, that
Oh
that's
man.
you
Oh
know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
definitely. Hey man, hold on before we get out of here. I'm glad you said that, Baba. Man. Let me just say, man, without my queen, man, without Empress D, none of this stuff would be happening, man. None of this stuff would have happened. I wouldn't have made it through this case. I wouldn't have made it through. I wouldn't even be here talking to y'all right now, man. I'd be somewhere probably depressed, drinking, drunk, you know what I'm saying? Like she's been my rock. She is the
She
engine
was
to the vessel.
definitely,
She is the
yeah,
oil to the engine. You know what I'm
man, she
saying?
was
She
on
the
call.
water under
Mama,
the
we gotta get
all
this
that.
done,
She's
mama.
everything.
Yes, yes, bruh.
Yeah, she own it. You know, I
Yeah,
know you know, Baba, but I just want the world to know, man. Like I can't take the credit, man. Like without her, none of this would happen. You know what I'm saying? Like
same
you
here,
know what
man.
I mean?
Hey,
Like that's
common
my rock.
thread, brother. One for Mama and Koyo, bruh. I might be in
Mm-hmm.
Fort Worth being a teacher's aide at AM Pate Elementary or something, man. It wouldn't be pretty.
Oh man, ain't no way, man.
It wouldn't be pretty,
Man,
man.
I'd
It
have
wouldn't
been
be
back.
pretty.
I've been back on the block. Real true
Yeah,
story.
yeah. Brothers get you,
For real.
man. Look, they just don't know it. We gonna keep living it though, man. We're gonna keep living it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Again,
For
give our
sure, we
love
gonna
to the
walk it for
family.
sure.
And that's what's up, man. Go about your day, man. Do your thing.
Oh man, hey man, we back on it, man. Back to the 1-2. We on it. I just got hey, it's crazy because I just got finished doing my compost pile early. We had a nice warm day out, so I went and kind of, so a farmer's work ain't never done. We still working in
I'm telling
the
y'all, ain't
winter
no
time.
geek like a gang. Ain't no geek like a gangster geek. I'm telling y'all, they he got it bragging about the compost bin while hitting the L. I'm just saying, man. Y'all, that's called a paradigm shift. That's what you're witnessing right
Hey
now
man,
is a spiritual paradigm shift. You know what I'm saying? Man, get out there and feed the community, brother. Thank you for everything
oh
that you
man, you know what?
are doing up there, man.
Man, peace and love, peace and power to everybody out there, man. Fight the fight, man. The fight is real. You know what I mean? That's all I tell the people, man. Keep fighting. It's real. You know what I mean?
All of
It's
y'all that
not
are
for
in
nothing. It's not for nothing.
the webinar, thank y'all for spending this time. I pray that y'all got something out of this. Go to the YouTube link and help us share this video. We want people to check it out. I want to get people involved. We need people to donate. Of course, all this stuff costs. Again, we come out of the pocket with it, but any support that you can give, Cash App is $Uhuru Academy, or you can go to uhuruacademy.com and support us there. We appreciate everybody for watching. If you've ever shared one of our videos, you've ever made a comment, you've ever made a donation, we thank you from the bottom of our heart. This is how we feed our children. I ain't worried because I believe in our ancestors and I believe in us. This has been Temple with Baba Amin. I love you. I don't mind telling you, Black Power.
Black power.